Hey everyone, it's Andrea. I'm still the assistant manager of Collectors Corner in Baltimore, and I wanted to share with you my staff picks for the week of February the 26th. First up is Hawkeye, and I've heard some people complaining online that Matt Fraction and David Aja are taking a little bit longer than they should on Hawkeye. First of all, deal with it. Hawkeye is an amazing series, and we should be blessed that this is even happening. Second of all, it's Marvel, it's not Image, it's not a creator-owned title, so there is still a deadline, so you guys can just keep your pants on. And thirdly, or third of all, Hawkeye is still coming out. So, let's thank our stars for that. I am still waiting for someone to tell me how Battle Chasers ends, because I don't think I'm ever gonna find out. Okay? So, the fact that Hawkeye is running a little behind schedule, it's fine. Deal with it. Getting to the actual meat of the story, Mr. Fraction, you are a monster. And I have met you before, and you were very kind at the time, and I was unaware that my heart was just a plaything to you, and you could do with it as you please, and I'm very hurt. I'm very insulted. I don't know how I'm going to deal with what happens in this issue. You could have warned somebody. It's a little intense. I'm gonna be really mad with the next issue. I can already feel it. Yeah. This month's Hawkeye. Not for the faint of heart. How dare you, sir? I trusted you. Please keep writing Hawkeye. My next, speaking of having my heart broken into a million little itty bitty pieces, Wolverine and the X-Men 42 came out, which is the final issue on the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Jason Aaron run of Wolverine and the X-Men. I've already explained to you guys how much I love Jason Aaron's Wolverine and the X-Men run. This was a wonderful wrap-up. Really well done. I read this back-to-back with Hawkeye, and I started crying. So, Marvel, y'all are jerks. You tug on my heartstrings. But Wolverine the X-Men was amazing. Jason Aaron, thank you. Thank you for this series. I'm really excited to see where the new creative team takes it. I'm really excited to keep reading it. I want to see what happens. But this probably goes up on my shelf in my top picks for comic series of all time. And I'll be honest with that. It was one of my absolute favorite things that Marvel has ever done. And I can't praise it enough, really. It's everything that I ever wanted in an X-Men comic, and I never knew that I wanted to read an X-Men comic. So thank you, Jason Aaron, for everything that you've done with Wolverine and the X-Men. You've changed me as a person, and you've made me respect Wolverine. So, thank you. Sticking with Marvel, but going in a completely opposite direction, we have Empire of the Dead, issue 2. I like it. I like it a lot. George Romero terrified me as a child. I still can't watch Night of the Living Dead, and anytime I hear the bonk, which is the music that was used in the mall during Day of the Dead, it terrifies me. I don't like it. Zombies, they weird me out, you guys. But Empire of the Dead, it's adding more stuff to his repertoire, it's expanding his universe, it's world building, it's creepy, it's weird, it's got amazing artwork. Please pick it up. You guys don't know what you're missing if you're not reading this. It's really an amazing story. I definitely recommend it. Moving on to Image, Rat Queens, read this. Read Rat Queens. Do you see this? Are you seeing this? You should read this book. It is probably, I'm going to put it in my top 3 for Image. Guesses on what the other 2 are and any order that they are in, but it is my top 3 for Image. Curtis Weeby, it helps that he is a super nice guy. He's just he works with the community. He encourages his fans. There's a really cool picture in the back that he posted on his Instagram of a bunch of cosplayers, Rat Queen and Peter Panzerfaust. And I think it's amazing that he encourages the fans the same way that you have people like Matt Fraction and Brian K. Vaughan encouraging their audiences as well. If you've ever played a D&D game, if you've ever done anything high fantasy, if you've ever wanted to see a bunch of ladies kick some troll behind, Rat Queens is the book for you. This is the final issue in the first story arc, which means that the trade is coming out soon, March 16th, which I believe is right around the time that Saga Volume 3 comes out. So go to your comic book shop, pick up your volume of Saga, pick up your volume of Rat Queens. Read Rat Queens, you guys. It is amazing. I just can't, it's good. Read this. Sticking with Image for the moment, issue 40 of Chew. It's probably going to go down as one of my favorite issues of Chew ever. I got into this very late in the game. I probably picked this up around volume 3, and I haven't put it down since. It's amazing. It's funny. I will follow John Layman to death. I really loved his Gambit series that he came out with a few years ago. I thought that was really, really interesting, and I love it. I love everything about it. It's funny. There's anthropomorphic animals in this one, which I thought was adorable. I'm a sucker for anything, cute. So I just thought that it was really great. I'm super, super stoked for Chew, you guys. Taking it in a little bit, wrapping it up almost. The last two books I have, they're kind of linked. I've got the new Tomb Raider book by Gail Simone and Legends of Red Sonja issue 4, which had a story in it by Gail Simone. I'm going to talk about Legends of Red Sonja first. Gail Simone and Mercedes Lackey's both had stories in this book, but specifically it was the story by Marjorie Liu that I really loved, and it had Phil Noto artwork, which does not hurt at all. Phil Noto can draw some pretty ladies. I'm reading Black Widow pretty much just to see his artwork. And the storyline of it was kind of off the beaten path, and I just really liked it. It's Legends of Red Sonja is really great. I am not a fan of Red Sonja. I don't like Conan. I'm not a big fan of that style of fantasy, which is fine. But I picked up Legends of Red Sonja because of the people associated with it. I saw Gail Simone, Mercedes Lackey, Nancy A. Collins on the cover, and so of course I picked it up, and then I read it and I realized that it was an amazing group of stories. It's an amazing anthology by a predominantly female writers, and I just think that that's amazing. I'm really glad that Dynamite released it. And speaking of female writers writing female characters, Gail Simone's Tomb Raider issue 1 just came out, and I definitely recommend it. I played the most recent game that came out, and if you haven't, don't worry. I would recommend checking out a trailer or a walkthrough online just so you kind of understand the characters and kind of understand what they're going through. But it's a really nice, it immediately picks up pretty much right from the game. It explains a little bit of what's happening with everybody who is involved, and there is a really weird twist at the end, and it makes me really excited to see what she's going to do with issue 2. I'm really, really glad that Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix, and Dark Horse are working together to create more amazing comics. Speaking of video games and comics, if anybody out there is going to their local comic shop to pick up Tomb Raider and are looking for anything else to add to their box, I would recommend picking up The Last of Us Trade American Dreams. If you have played The Last of Us or downloaded the DLC that just came out recently, Left Behind, American Dreams is a must-read, and I really recommend it as a completion to the story. Those are my staff picks for the week of February the 26th, and I will see you at the comic shop.